Hello, forum friends and other steam-afflicted aficionados. This is my Falk 450 overtype that I recently got and have recently reassembled after completely tearing it down and doing some light cleaning and minor repairs, quite a number of minor repairs, but I would not call this a restoration in any way. All the paint that you see is original, and there's plenty of places where it's not, especially on the brass parts that the paint was all curled up and flaked off, and there's probably more than 50% of the paint off of the various brass castings. But on the cast iron parts, it seems to have held up real well, particularly on the saddle that holds the flywheel crankshaft. And it's an interesting dark green with red trim and a light green center on parts of it, but it's hidden behind all the mechanisms, so you can hardly notice that, and I don't see the two-tone green anywhere else on the engine. But anyway, let's have a quick run with it here and see how it goes. As you can see, I did not have the original burner with it, so I'm using a Mamod SE2 3-wick burner that seems to heat it up quite nicely. I've only had some sporadic success with the water pump, but we'll give it a try here in a minute. Right now I've got the bleed valve open so that there's no attempt at trying to pump, but I have had to do some pumping. The major repairs that I had to do included the piston rod and valve rod were both bent, like something got dropped on top of the linkage at some point, but they were fairly minor bends. Actually, the valve rod is still bent slightly at the threads where it goes into the clevis. I've had bad luck straightening threads, bent threads before. They're bent so little that the screws still go all the way up and down without any resistance, so I don't see any point in trying to straighten that. It's too likely to break off in the threads. Valve whistle handle had a split in it. That got super glued. You can see that the blowdown handle was missing and the threads were boogered in the valve body, so I had to rework those. Not a serious thing, just had to crush the hole a little bit and then make a tap out of a 3mm bolt and screw that in there, and it seems to have worked just fine. I've got a piece of neoprene on it to allow it to be manipulated. There's only 2 gaskets on the whole engine when I got it, and those have been, one of them has been replaced by Teflon, and all the other washers that would normally be in effect have been replaced with Teflon. Underneath the safety valve there is a gasket that was glued in some way to the top of the boiler, and I have not peeled that off and replaced it. It seems to be doing a good job, however, so we'll go with it for a while yet. Let's see if we can get this puppy up and pumping. Have a little problem with the seal at the where it plugs into the bottom of the valve body. Well, I don't hear it lugging down, so it's probably not pumping at this point, but I have had it pump one time, actually a couple of times. Oh, maybe we're getting some pump action now. Does seem to be lugging down a bit. Oh yes, and the water level is dropping a little. The seal at this joint seems to be the problem that I'm having. I'll get a thicker Teflon gasket on that and get a smaller tubing diameter, and that should do it, but it is definitely pumping now. Water level in this cup is about halfway down, and the engine's slowing because of the cool water going into the boiler and because of the load of pushing it in against the steam pressure. Let's see if it'll pick back up if we shut this down. A little something there for the whistle man. You can hear it picking back up now. That water we pumped in got a little warmer. See if we can get it pumping one more time. Oh yeah. Rather lovely for a perhaps 90-year-old engine, and certainly running smooth and strong. A little more work to do on it yet, but I don't think I'm going to do a full resto. I rather admire the age that it shows, and as long as I can maintain it in an arrested state of decay, I think I'll go with that option. And so there you have it, my Falk 450. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed.